Hey everyone, this is Carmen, and today's video is all about conversion copywriting. Because imagine this, you make the most amazing sales page, landing page, whatever it might be, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, you finally launch it, and all you get is crickets. This happens again and again, and really the biggest culprit is just bad copy. But if you stick around in today's video, I'll be teaching you some methods that will boost conversions and sales for anything you write. Firstly, what is conversion copywriting? It's the practice of writing copy with a focus on conversion rate optimization. So the writer is going to look at a lot of little details and parts of the copy that's going to help increase the response and engagement. That's also why it's really good to hire a conversion copywriter, because they can definitely move the needle, and that's their main job and focus. They also just save you a ton of headaches and time that you can put back into your business, because if you're a business owner, you don't want to be writing the copy of better things to do, so you can outsource it to them, increase the response and conversions while you focus on your strengths. Now, the first thing in conversion copywriting that you have to consider is using a buyer persona or an ideal customer profile. Now, this essentially just summarizes the ideal audience's beliefs, feelings, desires, their demographics, their psychographics, and everything in between. Now, if you're a freelance copywriter and you're working with a client, hopefully they'll have this already mapped out. Otherwise, you might have to look at their testimonials, you might have to talk with some of their customers, look at competitors, read market reports, and so on, to really understand who you're targeting. But in many cases, you'll already have one of these on hand. And having all of this mapped out is really critical, because when we go to actually write the copy, we can overcome objections much easier. We can really connect with their emotions. We can provide value and really communicate what they're trying to get out of the product or service. It's really common just to try to write to a broad audience and see what sticks, but normally that's when you have low conversions. So if you're experiencing low conversions, one of the first things I would go audit is to see if you have a buyer persona, an accurate one, and you're actually using that when you're writing different material. Secondly, what we want to do is make sure that every page has one purpose, because in psychology, there's actually something pretty interesting called the paradox of choice. This is when we actually have too many choices and we end up doing nothing. So it's actually much easier to have just a few choices and select one of those versus having a dozen. Now, if you look at a lot of sales pages, landing pages, and websites, often there's a ton going on in the navigation and on individual pages, and then conversions typically go down. Now, what we can actually do is just reduce the amount of offers on a single page to make sure the customer just has one thing really to do and buy. Something else you can do is limit the navigation and the footer. I think Crazy Egg did a really good example on their homepage. There's a couple login links, there's a call to action form, a live chat option. So really all you can do is buy the product or learn more about it. It's really as simple as that. Thirdly, make sure you're matching your ads to your landing pages. How many times have you clicked an ad and then it brought you to a landing page, a sales page, or something that just had nothing to do with what you actually clicked and thought it was going to have? It happens again and again, and luckily it's honestly one of the easiest things to fix, because all you have to do is match either the ad to the landing page or vice versa. Sometimes the ad copy doesn't match the offer, or the landing page is just really inaccurate. There's nothing really consistent in terms of the branding. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that the sales copy itself matches. Make sure it has the same call to action, the same pricing, and the same offer. Now, also something you want to consider is the branding, the color schemes, and the design, because if the ad, let's say, is blue, but then when you go to the website, there's lots of red and orange, it can seem a little strange and confuse the customer. Pretty good example is this ad on Google for a day trading guide. And you'll notice that when you click this and it brings you to the landing page for a webinar, a lot of the copy and the offer itself matches. I think I could probably nitpick a couple things to make it better, but for the most part, it's a pretty good example of when you click an ad, it should actually give you what you thought you were going to get. Fourthly, tap into the customer's emotions. So I was mentioning this with the buyer persona. If you have that on hand, you understand their pain points, their questions, their struggles, and you really want to focus that in your copy, because when someone's buying something, it's often emotional, it's going to be irrational too, they're trying to solve some kind of problem, and if you can tap into that and position the product or service as the solution, you're easily going to boost conversions. A lot of the time when you're writing copy, it's easy to be a little too analytical, too logical, and then the copy is just kind of generic, a little boring, and it's too textbook. So you can actually really spice it up and connect with their emotions by really hitting those pain points, because there's something they're struggling with to buy a product or service. Let's say someone needs copywriting services, conversion copywriting. Well, clearly their conversions are low, and you could position the offer, which is the copywriting services, as a way to prevent people from losing more revenue, dropping their conversions, and just hurting their business. Last but not least, I want you to match the offer to the traffic temperature. Now, a lot of copywriters don't actually realize that every customer is going to go through different stages and journeys when they buy something. No customer is the same, And this goes back to the standard marketing funnel and buyer's journey, but I also want you to consider the temperature of the traffic. So for example, it begins with cold traffic. These are people that don't know the product, the brand, the business at all. And what they need are case studies, blog posts, and top of the funnel content and offers to educate them about the topic, your product, and your business. And then you have warm traffic. These are people that opt into your lead magnets, your email newsletters, and they've actually taken some steps to actually engage with your business. And they're probably on your email list or somewhere in your backend. These people can be sent low ticket offers. Remember that it's probably their second or third time engaging with your business, just figuring out who you are. So you just want to offer them some low level items on your value ladder. But then you have hot traffic. So these are people who've actually already converted and bought from you or the client if you're writing copy for them. And these are the people that you can directly send to landing pages, sales letters, because they're the most likely to convert. Now, if you take everything I talked about in this video and you apply it to your own copywriting, you're no doubt going to see a nice boost in conversions. But if you do want to learn more about conversion copywriting, go into the description. You can read my full blog post on this topic. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.